Hello, fam. Hello. If you are joining me here again, I'm happy to have you here with me. So let me just get myself together before I start talking. So today I'm talking about how do you recognize a tortured soul? First of all, let me tell you what a tortured soul is. Every time I walk down the street or every time I'm taking a walk in the morning, I'm reminded that life is happening. Life is happening all around me, and as the faces of the people are different, so are their experiences. They're all experiencing life from a different perspective. The world moves, the world is gonna happen with or without you. This is the feeling that I get every single time that I walk down the street. Many of you are in relationships, or you work with people, or you have people in your life that are tortured. Their souls are tortured, their souls are bitter. When you find yourself in relationships with people with tortured souls, you become more or less a victim of their experiences, because they project these traumatic experiences and these experiences that tortured their souls. They project it into your life through their behaviors, through their character. And many of you are also in, very intimate relationships with people that you've seen. You found that this person is really, really tortured. There's no change in this person. Another word for tortured soul is trauma. But I don't want to use the word trauma because that word has been glorified in some way. Now people wear their trauma with pride. In its real sense, trauma is just a tortured soul. When I say tortured soul, it's not just your regular trauma. It is experiences that have changed the core attributes of a person to mirror the effects of that torture, that mental, sometimes physical torture that they have been through, which shaped their life. Every human being born into this world is born on a clean slate. Let me use that in other terms for people to understand in depth. Every child born is born like a plain canvas for those who paint. Is born like a software, a very simple software with very limited functionalities for the IT tech guys. That's how every child is born. The moment that child is born, everything in that child's life from that point where it is born begins to add to, for instance, the canvas or the software. So I'm going to keep using software reference for this. You know how you update your iPhone, your iOS? Yes. Everything that happens to the child is an update in the software of the child. So a child that is born into a Muslim environment with a Muslim father, Muslim mother, that has already updated in the child's system. Let's say years after they were born, they moved to the United States. That relocation alone has updated the child's software. Let us say that this child lost their mother or loses their mother at the age of 9, for instance, and they were only being taken care of by their father. That change in the life of the child updates the software. Every experience a child experiences updates the child's software. It updates the child's personality. When I say software, I mean the child's personality. I'm going to go deeper into this. It is unfortunate that we live in a very wicked world. And this is why it's very important for parents to protect their children as much as they can, for as long as they can, because there would be that moment where the world itself would show your child shake it. The world itself will prove to your child that indeed this world is a wicked world. So you really want to protect that child for as long as you can from facing the harshness and the evils of the world. If you're thinking about someone while you're watching this, someone that you feel is really tortured, I can tell you for a fact that that person was once pure. That person was once innocent, but life happened. And for every hurt that they experienced, for everything, for every environment that wasn't suitable for them, for everything that they experienced that shaped their soul and their experiences and their life into who they have become, if that makes sense. This is how a tortured soul is born. A tortured soul is born from their environment, their experiences, and the people that they experience over time. Let's go straight to an example. A beautiful baby boy who was born into the streets, probably given off to a motherless home, struggled his whole life as a kid, moved from foster home to foster home, never had the love of a father or the love of a mother. And this child goes off into the world, and maybe is the first experience that this person has is with a gang. And this gang welcome him as family, and they start to teach him the ways of the gang. And this child ends up being a very, very loyal street gangbanger. I'm giving examples to show you how human beings become who they are from the environments that they were born in, the experiences that they had, and the people that they experience. This is how a tortured soul is born. So when you see a tortured soul, if you are a discerning person, if you are a person led by love, the first thing that you should understand is that this person is the way they are because of what they've been through. How do you recognize a tortured soul? The answer is simple. Everybody is tortured. Every human being in this world, every human being who exists is a tortured soul. Some more than others. Some are more tortured than others. Some people are fortunate to be born in very caring families that nurtured them, that protected them from the evils of the world. Some people are fortunate enough to be born in a rich family, have everything that they've always wanted, but maybe something happened along the way and that, tore them up a bit. So yes, everybody in this world, everyone in this world is tortured. And I have to take a breather as usual. As I was saying, this is why it is very, very important to not judge anyone. When the Bible says, "Judge not, so that ye shall not be judged," I think that this comes from this understanding. It's very important to not judge anyone. Now knowing that every soul on earth is tortured, now understanding that every soul on earth is tortured because the world itself is wicked. No matter how pure you are, no matter how sweet you are, this world will show you shaky. This world will show you why it is wicked. You would experience things that, even in the covering of a beautiful home and loving parents and a beautiful family, you would experience the world in a very, very painful way that would really shape how you view things, how you treat people, how you interact with people, and how you are as a person. Some men, for instance, never had the love of their fathers. Some men were verbally abused by their fathers consistently, and that affected the way they look at themselves. And if you're a lady who is married to one of these men, you would be wondering, why does he treat me the way he treats me? Why is he so mean? Why is he so cold? If you study him, if you ask him the right questions, you will find out the point in his life when he became this person that you're experiencing. You will find that out. Very, very important to not judge a person. Some people will meet a woman and you call her all sorts of names. Call her a street whore, you're a this, you're a that, you're a whore. But if you ask her questions, you know what's funny? I used to manage restaurants when I was in Nigeria at some point in my life, and I met a lot of people, and I was fortunate to talk to a lot of people. And some of the people I was fortunate to talk to were actual street hoes. And I would talk with them, I would gist with them, and they'll just tell me about their lives. And you'll be surprised that a lot of these hoes that I spoke to, they were not doing what they were doing because they want to sell their bodies or they enjoy sex so much that they want to make money out of it. They're doing it to take care of their families. Many of them. Many of them feel like this is the best I can do. I'm not educated. I can't apply for a job. My mom is sick. My child needs help. For whatever reason, many times it is to support the people that they care about. A lot of people that people judge so harshly for being who they are or what they do, if you tell your own story, you will find that you are no better than them, because you're probably doing something that's not probably frowned upon so publicly, but you're probably doing something that's just as terrible. Treat every soul with love, with understanding. If you happen to be in a relationship or in close relations with someone who is tortured, who is what I have described, tortured, has a lot of trauma. Now what I'm here to actually teach you, the thing that I'm actually here to talk to you about, how do you respond to tortured souls? You respond to them with love. Treat everybody you meet, every soul you meet with love, because this person that may seem as such a terrible person could have been the most amazing person in the world if only they had different experiences. And you who is there experiencing them, you could be worse than them if you experience the same thing that they experienced. And I'm not saying this for you to also let yourself be walked upon, because when you experience tortured people, you become tortured yourself, because you become a victim of their own experience. You become a victim in that space. When you treat them with love, you give them a little bit of healing. Experiencing you can heal a side of them. And if more people experience more love, more tortured soul experience more love, people would experience healing. They will experience God themselves. You find that someone's trauma, if you find that someone's experiences or experiencing someone who is tortured is greatly torturing you, is really affecting you, is starting to fuck you up, please, for your sake, you need to show them love, of course, but walk away. A lot of people like to they like to act, I can save her, I can save him. No. I always say this, only God can save a person. You did not make the person. You were not there when they were dealing with what they had to deal with. I promise you, you cannot fix them. You cannot solve their problem. Only God saves. You can only love. If you find that your love is not enough, if you find that they are projecting their torture to you and adding to even you, as you're trying to love somebody, even me, I'm trying to love, I have my own bit of torture. I am tortured myself. So if I find that somebody else's experience and the way they are based on their experience is greatly affecting me in a negative way, I can only love you, but I have to love you from a distance. You have to be wary and be careful with those that you love up close and personal and those you love from a distance. But in general, you need to show love to people in general. Some people, they're like good soil. When you pour love into them, they are open to receive it. They are open to learn. They are open to forgive themselves. And when you're pouring into them, you can see that you're pouring onto fertile land. But there are some other people who, that torture, they're really, it's really down bad. And when you pour your love to them, they're throwing it back at you. What do you do in those situations? You step back. A person's love can work for somebody. So let me use an example so it's easy. So my love, the way I love, because everybody loves differently. I really get through to hard guys who are very, I know how to be, the way I love has the power to soften a hard guy. Another person might love a different way. Another person's love, and this is because of how their own experiences, another person's love can get through to someone who is very cold. But my own love can't get through to that person. I don't know if I'm making the sense I'm trying to make, but what I'm trying to say in essence is your love will not work for everybody. Your love will not go through and will not get through to every soul. You have to recognize that. You have to recognize the people around you that you are a blessing to, or that your love is helping, or your love is healing, or the way you express love adds love to their life. You have to recognize that. And you also have to recognize the people who you just can't get through to, no matter how much you love them. You have to recognize that. Show them that love, same love, but from a distance. You don't have to come so close, because they always say, if you're going to eat with the devil, eat with a long spoon. So you're not close. You're going to love someone who is really tortured. Love them from a distance. Because I bet you there's somebody else out there whose love will get through to them if and when they're open to receive that love. Don't feel bad when you can't get through to someone, when you've tried your best for a person. Don't feel bad about it. Some people feel bad when you're trying to fix somebody and you just find yourself back at square one. Don't feel bad. I'm here to teach you to love everyone that you meet. No matter how bad they are, no matter how terrible they are, love them. Show them love. As you deal with tortured people, know those who you deal with from a distance and those who you can keep close to you, who are also helping you heal from your own torture. Don't judge us all, because everybody is tortured. We live in a world of tortured souls. There is nobody on earth who has not been hurt by the world. So, what happens if you are married? If you find yourself to be married to someone with a tortured soul? So, and I'm using this example because marriage is you're locked in. This one is no way out. You have to accept this tortured soul for who they are. As long as the Bible says the only reason for divorce should be sexual immorality. So if you're married to someone who is, who's just sleeping around, you have the right to get out of that, because they have dishonored your union. But if you find that this is more, they are more tortured. They just don't know how to love. They don't know how to take love. The world has really hurt them so much. They don't love themselves, so they can't even love you the way you should be loved. I'm sorry to tell you that you have to just keep loving them. You have to keep showing them as much love as possible. You have to pray for them, pray with them consistently. And I'm adding this as a jara, because some of you would be like, so what do I do if I'm with this person? Love them more every day. However way you can show this love them as much as you can. Beautiful thing about love is love heals. The cause of torture is the lack of love, is experiencing evil. So love really heals if you love them right, because especially if luckily you people are both designed for each other, you have the ability to love them forever. So keep loving them and they will heal. Your love might be the healing that they need. That's what has to be a burden that you would take. So you have to sacrifice yourself, and show them that love. I hope I've been able to teach someone something today. I want to thank you so much for getting to this point, because if you got to this point, you watched this whole thing, and I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. I am nobody, and the fact that you are spending this time with me is I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, and stay tuned until my next teaching.